And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Sands Hotel proudly presents the star of our show, direct from the bar.
Welcome to the Ford Show. I am Ford. This week we have a great podcast for you. I am by myself. It's going to end up being a very special podcast because it's going to be our last for 2024 and our last for the foreseeable future. Going to put this show on ice, as they say. A little hiatus, a little hibernation. I have some real life things that are happening right now that are more important than the podcast. I can't dedicate the time and the effort to the podcast that, of course, I would like to dedicate to it. So we're just going to put it on ice for now. Maybe we'll be back in the future. Maybe not. You never know what happens in life. But for right now, for the foreseeable future, there will be no weekly edition of the Ford Show. Joey Vegas is not here this week, so it will be just me doing this, I guess, the lame duck show, right? Because we're not coming back next week. But there are some things that I would like to sit here and talk about and laugh about and make fun of. So we will do that. This will be a normal show, just me by myself. No Joey Vegas tonight. And I want to thank Joey Vegas for his dedication to the podcast throughout the months, weeks, years. He's been around for a very long time with me doing shows. This go around here probably had the best attendance he's probably ever had. Only missed shows when he was traveling the world or if he had COVID and he was sick or something like that. So I want to thank him for his dedication to the podcast. Also want to thank Ragin Rob and his dedication to the podcast. He does have a Ragin Rob this week, so I will be playing that before we end this show. The last couple of weeks he's done them. I haven't been able to fit him in, so I apologize for that. But we'll get his Ragin Rob in tonight. So we'll start this final edition of the Ford Show podcast for now, or maybe forever, with the big story that we had been covering over the last few weeks. Of course, I can only be talking about Luigi Mangione. As you guys know, he's the cat that killed Brian Thompson in Midtown Manhattan. Well, Manhattan finally got their guy. He was sent over there from Pennsylvania. And he is, of course, the accused killer. Appears to have been plotting his attack on Brian Thompson for at least 3 months, penning a desire to take out the head of a medical insurance company in a notebook laden with angry tirades against the industry. New details shining a light on the possible motive from that December 4 ambush attack contained a 4-count federal complaint unsealed against Mangione, who was hauled back to the Big Apple to face those murder charges. He's 26 years old. He's a University of Pennsylvania graduate. Goes to show you, just because you graduate college does not mean you're smart. Who hails from a prominent Maryland family, as we discussed last week on this podcast. Allegedly had the notebook on him when Pennsylvania cops arrested him at a McDonald's in Altoona 5 days after the shocking slaying. There's an entry dated August 15. Mangione allegedly wrote, "Details are finally coming together," noting he was glad that he procrastinated in his preparations because it allowed him to learn more about United Healthcare, the insurance behemoth, which Thompson was in charge of. "The target is insurance," he allegedly wrote, adding that United Healthcare checks every box. I guess if you are plotting a murder, and on one side of the paper you have some boxes and you have some reasons to kill the CEO, United Healthcare checked every one of those boxes, according to Luigi Mangione. In October 22, he allegedly wrote, "The investor conference is a true windfall," apparently in reference to the company's annual Investor Day conference at the Hilton in Midtown, outside of which he would allegedly later gun down Thompson, a 50-year-old married father of two. He allegedly wrote of his intention to whack the CEO. That's fitting, seeing as those Luigi's Italian. That's what they do. They whack. Most importantly, what he honestly referred to as the message would become self-evident. He wrote in the same entry, seemingly an oblique reference to his anti-insurer views and the aftermath the shooting would incite. Mangione's mom reported him missing in San Francisco police on November 18, just days before he would arrive in Manhattan via a Greyhound bus from Georgia. He got to town on the 24th. He allegedly staked out the Hilton on 6th Avenue near West 54th Street. We've all been there. And undertook extensive efforts to identify the victim, place the victim under surveillance, and track the victim's whereabouts in the time period leading up to the murder. That, of course, is coming from the feds. When he was finally arrested after a McDonald's worker recognized him and called 911, investigators said Mangione also had on him a letter addressed to the feds, which he called hatching his alleged murderous scheme trivial, and stated that he was working alone. "I wasn't working with anyone. This was fairly trivial. Some elementary social engineering, basic CAD, a lot of patience." The letter added, "P.S. You could check serial numbers to verify this. All self-funded, my own ATM withdrawals." What caught my eye about this and why I wanted to bring this up is the few people who showed up to support Mangione in Manhattan. You see them there on your screen. Look at these two fat cows. Look at these fat pigs. This guy here on the right with his stupid Free Luigi sign. And then the fat pig sitting next to him in her mask with her privated health care is a crime against humanity. Your size is a crime against humanity, you fat pig. Look at this. This is disgusting. This kid murdered a father of two in cold blood, shot him in the back. And you want to free Luigi Mangione? We want to free him? This fat fuck with this sign that I'm intentionally leaving up on the screen so everybody has to look at it. This fat fuck, this cow next to him. This woman's worried about health care. What about this woman says she cares about her health? The 400-pound frame, the mask on her face as she's outside. Unbelievable. The gall, the balls of these people to show up in support of this idiot kid who has far more education than I'll ever have. This kid's got more education than I will ever have. But he's a complete idiot. An absolute idiot. Mangione arrived at Manhattan Federal Court. I'm showing you the picture there. In cuffs, armed officers surrounding him. He's paraded in. He looks like Jesus getting led in by the Romans. I read somebody say this kid murdered a CEO, which apparently now younger people, support murdering CEOs. I don't understand it. I don't understand what kind of society do we really want to be in? What kind of society do we want this to be? Do we want this to be a society where people get canceled for jokes? People get canceled for questionable behavior? Or do we want to be a society that turns murderers into martyrs? Do we want to be a society where it's okay to kill CEOs for whatever reason that we deem to be important? Is that the society that we want to be? Or do we want to be the woke society who cancels people over jokes that we deem tasteless, jokes that we deem inappropriate? We can't be both. We can't even be a mix of the two. We need to pick one or the other. Because they're just too, they're way too extreme, both of them, in completely opposite directions. I don't want us to be a society that cancels people over jokes, because I make a lot of inappropriate jokes. But I also don't want us to be a society that goes around killing CEOs. I don't want to be that society either. I want to be like in the middle. You know? Kind of want to be in the middle. Where like only the extreme behavior gets you canceled. But a bad joke doesn't get you canceled. I don't think we should be murdering CEOs in the middle of the street. I don't think we should turn the people who do that into celebrities, like the two fat pigs I showed you earlier. I don't think we should do that either. But we have got to pick a side here. We really do. I really want us as a society to pick a side and let it be the middle. Nobody, unless we're just doing some silly internet trolling, should you give praise to Luigi Mangione. I will allow it if it's done on the basis of internet trolling. Fine. Because anything you say on the internet is not real anyway. So I'm okay with that. But when you take time out of your life to show up in Manhattan when this kid is being extradited in for murder, and you show up with Free Luigi Mangione signs, when it's evident and obvious and clear that he did the killing, and you take time out of your life to show up with signs supporting his release, that's not really a society that I would like to live in. Because Luigi Mangione is the problem. He's not the solution. Murder is not the solution when you have a problem with an insurance company. By the way, as we've learned, it's an insurance company that Luigi wasn't even a part of. Now, this thing will probably not even be a trial by the time the Ford show comes back, if we do come back. But I am going to follow this case until it's a slam dunk and he's guilty and going to jail for the rest of his life. While those two fat pigs that I showed you earlier will not be going to jail, but they will be going to an early grave because they're both morbidly obese and fat as fuck. So I guess if those are the types of people that praise Luigi Mangione, maybe we'll be all right. Because those people won't be along. They won't be around for a long time. Mainly because they're fat. Here's Ragin Rob's Music Minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt our program to bring you a special bulletin.
Listen up. It's time for Ragin Rob's Music Minute.
You do want to be a part of that, don't you?
Yeah.
This is Ragin Rob's Music Minute. Well, it sounds like this is the last show of 2024. Thank you all for joining me and being with the show. You know, it's amazing this show has lasted as long as it has. It's a testament to Ford and the producers and everybody who's involved. I've been blessed to be part of this show in different variations over the many years. And thank you to the listeners. So without further ado, let's get into the music. So if we're in the holiday spirit, Christmas is 6 days away. Merry Christmas to everybody. I hope you get everything you wish for and you hope for. Hey, there's this Christmas song that's kind of popping right now. It's called Xmas Time, all right, by Glorilla, one of my faves, and Kalari. I think that's her name. It is not a good song. It's fucking awful. I listened to it once. It barely has anything to do with Christmas. It's just really bad. So go check it out if you want. So I switched from that. I found a playlist of top punk Christmas songs. So Christmas songs done by punk bands. Oh, there's an emo band one on there too. So if you want a little bit different flavor to your Christmas music and you don't want some Glorilla shit, check out some pop or some emo Christmas covers there. You know, 2024 for me was a great year in music. I believe I went to 8 concerts, including one 4-day music festival in Louder in Life. A couple of my favorite live acts this year, Metallica is number one for sure. Seven Dust, Slipknot, even 3-6 Mafia. 3-6 Mafia, they put on a party. I saw them in Louisville at Louder in Life. Really, really fun live. Get out there and support your live bands, your live shows, buy merch. You know, Hatebreed, of course, another live band that I love very, very much. They're awesome live. There's a lot of tours coming out in 2025, guys. AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, just tons and tons of stuff. I believe Kendrick Lamar, all kinds of good stuff out there. You know who won't be touring, though? Ariana Grande. She says her heart will always be with her music, but she has no plans in making or touring any music anytime soon. She's sticking to her acting. A lot to do with that success of that Wicked movie, which, hey, I saw it. It's not for me, but hey, I know people love it, so that's great. Anyways, yeah, goodbye 2024. Merry Christmas. Well, I hope to speak to you all very, very soon. Thank you to Ford for inviting me on the show. And here's to a great 2025. As always, fucking rage.
Thank you, Ragin Rob. Final Ragin Rob's Music Minute. maybe forever, maybe not. I got two other things that I want to get to that I found interesting over the week here, and then I will let you guys get back to your regularly scheduled lives. There's been several stories over the years where the Google Street View takes some pictures at the perfect time, whether it be the nice stories where it's got my grandpa who was working in his garden, and grandpa died and he always loved working in his garden, and it's so adorable to see grandpa working in his garden on the Google Street View. Or you'll see the scary ones where it's like, oh, this person looks like a ghost walking down the street, Google Street View. That's really creepy. And then there's this story. A Google Street View camera caught the image of a suspect, allegedly loading a corpse into his car. You see it right there on your screen right now. This is what a Google Street View caught. And it led to the arrest of a man on a chilling murder and dismemberment charges. A car shooting the 360-degree map footage happened to be passing through this tiny town of Soria back in October of 2023 when it caught this site that you're looking at right now on your screen. If you are watching or listening to this podcast on Spotify or on YouTube, you see it right there. The image shows a 48-year-old suspect bending over to stuff a large object wrapped in white plastic into the trunk of his burgundy-colored sedan. You see it right there. Pretty obvious. That's a body. I've watched enough Sopranos to know that that is certainly a body being stuffed into a trunk. That is for sure. Police believe the object was the body of Jorge Luis Perez, who was 32 at the time, was later found dismembered in a cemetery in the nearby town of Andulaz. Cops arrested the suspect in the footage, who again has not been named, along with an unidentified woman as the victim's former romantic partner. Love will get you. It wasn't immediately clear what led the police to believe there was a body inside that bag. Perez's torso was later unearthed in an advanced state of decomposition, but the rest of his remains have yet to be found. Imagine that. Before the Chance Tech encounter, a Google Street View image hadn't been shot in that remote area in 15 years. So think about the odds. 15 years since the last time Google had shot this area. Google comes down, shoots the area at the same exact time as a man is stuffing a body into a trunk. The suspect caught on camera is seen wearing jeans, a blue jacket with a Club Deportivo Numancia soccer logo, and brown boots. Google Street View allows users to navigate maps in 3 dimensions with real photos captured by cameras shot by cars driving streets around the world, in case you didn't know. I've seen them around here as well. But there you go. That's probably the best one yet. That's got to be the best Google Street View catch that we have seen. All right, this is the last Ford show, at least the time being, maybe forever. Joey Vegas will still do his picks for the rest of the football season. I will upload them to our TikTok at Ford Podcast and the YouTube at Ford, and the Twitter at Ford Podcast. So you'll still be able to get Vegas's picks. That's where they will be this weekend. I do not have them today as I record this. I told them just to give them to me over the weekend. And Joey Vegas last week went 1-2. bringing his yearly record still 25-20. 25 wins, 20 losses so far. He will wrap up this football season with picks, so you'll be able to still check those out. And I will leave you with this last one. I feel like this is a story that Ford would leave you guys with. I like to think that this isn't the last time that we talk. But like I said, you never know. But I want to leave you with this story. For a cool $75, you can get the perfect diaper that allows adult concert goers like Ragin Rob to pee themselves in mosh pits. They're dubbing it an innovative new solution. Diapers are not innovative. I don't know why we're thinking this is innovative, but apparently this is innovative. I'm going to put the picture up for you right now of this diaper. Concert goers are opting to pee themselves in diapers rather than relieve themselves in restrooms. Liquid Death, the beverage company, they make water, has collaborated with Depend brand. You know Depend. Known for their adult underwear to produce the Pit Diaper. That's right. The Pit Diaper. It is a first run of its kind $75 product, has already sold out. Never leave the safety of the mosh pit. That's funny. For a mid-show bathroom break ever again with the Pit Diaper. Depend brand and Liquid Death's joint Instagram post caption read, and in case you're wondering, this is what a man looks like when he's wearing one. Right there. You see that guy? Apparently that guy's in a band. Ben Kohler, drummer. Look how fucking ridiculous this is. This thing looks bulky. This looks like something you can't really wear under your clothes. How are you supposed to wear a pair of jeans with this monstrosity on your waist? How? Customers can strap the embellished black pleather diaper, which is a low rise, one size fits all. Even those two fat fucks I showed you earlier, with an adjustable hip and waist circumference. It combines function with a rock and roll aesthetic as it features a metal key clip, spikes, and a chain, as you saw earlier, and a belt with a gold embroidered skull on the front. The diaper comes with a pack of 52 Depend guards. So you get the Depend guards with this pleather monstrosity. The Depend guards are there to lock in moisture so concert goers don't have to rush to the bathroom during a performance. The company considers the limited edition diaper an innovative new solution to help fans like you stay in the safety of the pit. Sold out. $75 garment. Confessed one person, no, I'm sorry, I'm in love. Please restock. Oh my God. Perfect for any die-hard concert goer who doesn't like to use the restroom. I don't understand. I always thought there was 2 points in our life. We start in diapers and we end in diapers. I never thought that it would be acceptable to wear diapers when you are still a functioning, fully adult. This is the society in which we now are living in. These are the times. The porta potty industry is trembling right now. An online user quipped. Another set of wacky concert goers known as Swifties have strapped on adult diapers so they won't miss a moment of Taylor Swift. The diaper rash and trench foot was worth this moment of Taylor Swift looking right at us, wrote a superfan known as Kaylee's 23 in the caption of herself at the Grammy winners Gillette Stadium performance in Foxborough, Massachusetts. It does not surprise me that broads outside of Boston are pissing themselves instead of using the restrooms, because that is a Boston trash. Am I right? Yes, I am. Go New York. Fuck Boston. Other able-bodied lovers of the Lover Luminary purchased the single-use briefs in bulk. The amount of stress and time it took for me to get Taylor Swift tickets, I'll be getting an adult diaper because I'm not missing a moment of it. You can't pee before she comes out on stage, apparently. And if you have to pee during it, you can just piss yourself with your adult diaper. I will leave you with that. Word to those on the Patreon. Go ahead, obviously, feel free to switch tiers to the free tier. And that will be what you will find out when the Ford Show is back. So switch to the free tier. When we come back, if you want the show ad-free, like you've always gotten the show, and you want to help support the show financially, you can fire it up back up again. I don't expect you guys to still be paying while we are on hiatus. That's just silly. So switch to the free tier, and you'll know when we're back. Now, if you're not a member of the Patreon and you would like to know when the Ford Show is back, you can, for free, go to patreon.com/Ford podcast and sign up for the free tier. When the show comes back, I will notify you. And that's all you got to do. No matter what I change Twitter handles to, or Instagram handles to, or TikTok handles to, or anything like that, we will always have that Patreon. Patreon.com. So for those of you who don't know, Patreon is spelled P as in Papa, A as in Alpha, T as in Tango, R as in Romeo, O as in Oscar, N as in November, .com/Ford podcast. And I want to thank everybody who's been a subscriber on our YouTube at Ford Podcast, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. I want to thank everybody who's ever listened to this show. I've been doing shows like this and this show and shows like this live and in the podcast form since 2006, when I used to have to do these shows through a landline phone because we didn't have technology yet. It's been a long time, but I love doing it. And I will continue to love doing it, even when I'm not doing it, while I'm doing the rest of my real life stuff. But I want to thank you guys all for being here and supporting the show. Those of you that have supported the show financially, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Please don't forget to switch to the free tier, patreon.com/Ford podcast. That's where I'll let you guys know when and if we are back. So for Joey Vegas and for everybody else that's ever been a co-host on the Ford Show with me, we all thank you for being with us through the years. And we'll see you guys next time, right here on the Ford Show.
Good night, jabroni marks without a life that don't know if it's a work when you work a work and work yourself into a shoot. Marks.
See ya!